Уважаемый господин Абдель Фаттах,
Excellency, President Sisi, distinguished heads of state and government of the countries of the African continent, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, I would like to cordially welcome all of you, participants and guests of the Economic Forum entitled Russia-Africa, which is timed to coincide with the first ever in history summit between the Russian Federation and African countries. Gathered in this hall are representatives of all countries of the African continent, officials, politicians, experts, and certainly leading businessmen. To attend this forum, around 2,000 Russian and foreign companies have come to this forum. The theme of the forum, Russia and Africa, opening up the potential for cooperation, is very important and relevant because economic issues are an indispensable and essential part in Russia's relations with African countries. Building close business ties is within our common interest because it helps sustainable development of our countries. It also helps raise the quality of life for our people and address many social issues and others. Before this forum, we've done a great deal of preparatory work. Over the last year, we have held multiple events on different avenues of Russian-African cooperation. I refer in particular to the economic conference as well as the session of the Board of Directors of the African Export-Import Bank in Moscow in June this year, timed with it. As part of the St. Petersburg Economic Forum, we held a special session dedicated to developing cooperation with the countries of the African continent. We've held a great number of other thematic exhibitions, workshops. We've held exchanges of Russian-African business missions. We have discussed in detail and with great interest joint projects in trade, investment, and in particular industries. I'd like to highlight that African countries are attracting ever greater attraction and interest of Russian companies. This is mainly due to the fact that Africa is becoming one of the core centers of economic growth. According to estimates of experts, by 2050, the GDP of African states will have reached $29 trillion. Over the last 5 years, our trade with Africa has more than doubled, and as just our colleague has pointed out, it is now more than $20 billion. Whether that is a big number or a small number, my colleague has said that it's a good one, but I cannot agree with that because that's too little. Just bear in mind that 40% of that is accounted for by our trade with Egypt, whereas in Africa there are a great many other partners with a promising potential. Of course, this figure is not enough, and yet we are seeing some good things. We are seeing that the structure of our trade is diversifying, both export and import. The non-commodity ratio is increasing. Agricultural and industrial manufacture. Russia is among the top 10 biggest suppliers of food to African markets. We are currently exporting agricultural produce to third markets, and it's worth more than the equipment, military equipment we are exporting. It's more than to the tune of 25 billion, whereas our military export is just around 15. And the prospects are very good, and this gives us hopes that we will further increase our trade, and I believe it is within our capacity to at least double our trade within the next 4 to 5 years. And we see additional opportunities presented to us by the integration processes ongoing in Africa. We hail the establishment of the African Continental FTA within the AU, and we are willing to work together with this new mechanism. We support fostering close working ties between the Commission of the African Union and the Eurasian Economic Commission. Tomorrow, these two mechanisms mechanisms are gonna sign a MOU. Russia is an active participant of the Eurasian Economic Union, and as such, it is going to facilitate to the maximum of its ability, bringing closer together the trade regimes working within the framework of the African FTA and the Eurasian Economic Union. I'd like to point out that we're working closely on the economic agenda between Russia and Africa, and a great deal of work is done via business councils we have set up with many African countries. Russia intends to expand its network of trade missions, support businesses, and foster new ties. The Trade and Industrial Chamber of Russia has set up a coordination commission for economic cooperation with African countries, and it has proved itself well. This mechanism helps Russian entrepreneurs in exploring the markets of Africa. It helps businesses in implementing joint investment projects. Many Russian companies are working with different branches of the African economy, and they are willing to further expand their presence in Africa, and we most certainly are going to support these plans at the government level. Gazprom, Rosneft, Lukoil are fulfilling promising oil and gas projects in Africa. Rosa is exploring diamond deposits. Yandex is present in a number of African markets. It helps African countries address issues related to information security and the development of digital economy. Rosatom is willing to present our African partners the possibility of setting up a nuclear industry on a turnkey basis, as it were. The construction of research centers based on multipurpose reactors. We are completing the establishment of the Russian industrial zone in Egypt. I refer to a big platform in the economic zone of the Suez Canal. There, companies from Russia will be able to localize their manufacturing capacities, and we'd like around 20 Russian companies to join this project. So far, it's just 20, but in future, I'm confident it is going to be more. Colleagues, Russia is providing assistance to the development of Africa on a systemic basis. We provide trade preferences, work together within the framework of international organizations such as the WFP, International Civil Defense Organizations, WHO. Our country is also participating in the initiative to lighten the debt burden for African countries. So far, we have written off more than $20 billion of debt. We have special joint projects with a number of companies that. Thank you. A number of countries and we have launched special programs that use the debt money for funding national projects of economic growth. We are also fostering a very successful cooperation in the fight against infectious diseases. In Guinea, Russia has set up a scientific center to. Yes, that's very good work. Yes, it's very efficient, as it has turned out to be. Our country was one of the first responders to the Ebola epidemic, and we've allocated more than $60 million to fight this scourge, and the vaccine has turned out to be very efficient, one of the best in the world, the best, I believe. A traditional avenue of our cooperation is helping prepare and train specialists for the economy. By mid-1980s in Africa, our country had built around 100 educational institutions in Africa. 500,000 of Africans underwent vocational training at our industrial companies and agricultural organizations. Right now, around 17,000 African students are studying in Russia, and 4,000 of those have scholarships from the federal budget. Friends, colleagues, within this forum, we've planned a very tight business schedule. After our speeches, mine and President Sisi's, the participants of the plenary sessions will discuss concrete ideas and proposals with regard to the promising avenues of African-Russian cooperation. The heads of Russian companies together with the Ministry of Economic Development of Russia, have prepared presentations of the key Russian competences that open up new opportunities for economic cooperation with Africa. It is important that this forum is also going to host a great number of specific sessions on oil and gas and nuclear, mineral resources, agriculture and high-tech. During these sessions, you'll have a chance to talk about concrete avenues of cooperation to reach agreements on mutually beneficial joint projects. I'm confident that the work of the forum is going to give a fillip to further development of the whole range of Russian trade and economic ties with African continents. And I'd like to wish the participants of the forum success and all the best. I'd like to thank you for finding an opportunity to come here to Russia. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Mr. President. And I would like to give floor now to our guest, the President of the Arab Republic of Egypt, the country that is presiding in the African Unit, Mr. Abdel Fattah el-Sisi.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السيد الرئيس فلاديمير بوتين رئيس روسيا الاتحادية أصحاب الجلالة والفخامة
Allah
والمعالي
merciful,
ورؤساء الدول والحكومات الإفريقية
Mr. President,
السيدات والسادة
Your Majesties, Your Excellencies, heads of the African
ولشعب
countries,
روسيا الاتحادية الصديق
good afternoon to you all. First of all, I would like to express gratitude to President Putin for hospitality and for perfect organization of the Economic Forum Russia-Africa. We highly appreciate the attention that is given in the Russian Federation to strengthening the cooperation between Russia and Africa, and we regard the forum as the platform to develop the relationship for the mutual investments and the cooperation between the two peoples. And the forum is meant to strengthen the relationship between the countries in compliance with Agenda 2063. And the aspiration of the people promote the work towards peace and security, economic development and cooperation. The peoples of the two countries urge us to make use of the positive experience of the international peace-liking community and Russia first of all. And we would like to emphasize how important this forum is, and its deliverables will be beneficial for the nations of Africa. Our countries undertake to develop infrastructure, regional integration, which is a priority of Africa. And we are committed to investment into human capacity, for this is one of the ingredients for economic growth of the continent, because the youth of Africa at the age group of up to 25 accounts for 65%, which is a huge potential at the labor market. We undertake efforts to empower women and increasing their role in the economic development. Ladies and gentlemen, Africa is embarking on the new phase of economic development linked to the new opportunities of the markets, the industrial potential, and the digitalization of Africa is on the increase. which is a result of the creative efforts of our nations and the policies of the states that encourage the aspirations of the people. I would like to emphasize that our country has done a lot by the way of economic and social reforms. We have undertaken efforts for the regional and continental integration. The latest achievement is the implementation of the All-African Agreement on Free Trade, which was signed in Niger in July 2019, which attracted the attention of the international community. Due to that, Africa welcomes the cooperation with the partners to make a leap in modernization of the continental industry and development of infrastructure and basis of digitalization. I would like to call upon the private companies of Russia and other countries and international financial organizations to cooperate in investments in Africa. The time is ripe for that now. I would like to call upon the international financial organizations to take part in funding the efforts to promote the economic growth of Africa and to provide financial assurances for strengthening its economic capacity that might promote investment activity. And we pledge to provide optimum conditions for implementation of the development programs that will help Africa to embark on the way of progress and well-being and stable development. I would like to emphasize in conclusion that cooperation with African countries should be based on mutual interests and principles of protection of African property that would enable to ensure the sustainable development to meet three targets. One is acceleration of the economic transformation, creation of business-like atmosphere through partnership with the private sector. Second, social equity with participation of all society and the strengthening of peace and stability in compliance with Agenda 2063 and SDGs by 2030. In conclusion, I would like to express a hope that the forum will contribute to the development of cooperation between African countries and Russia in different areas in the years to come. Thanks to your attention, and peace to you, mercy, and the love of Allah.